Hey, hi, Linda.
Hey, Steve.
Hi, everybody. Here we are, Saturday night well, depends on what time zone you're in, depends on what
hmm
time it is. We're
Hi,
8
everyone.
o'clock, 8 o'clock Central Time,
hmm
and
9 o'clock Eastern.
9 o'clock Eastern.
Yes.
So, and let's see, I believe it's 6 o'clock Pacific Time.
hmm
So, we have a really good show today, and we're going to jump right on it because Roman's down there.
hmm
For everybody out there that doesn't know this, we one of our places that we are streaming to is the Great Pyrenees Advice and Support Rebooted page. Okay,
hmm
and on that page, there's a. I just want to give a shout out to a gentleman by the name of Paul Wells, and he's doing man something that I don't know that I could do. Right,
Yeah.
Linda?
He's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
he kind of the go-to guy for all the dogs that are neglected.
Yes.
And just so happens there's a few peers, but he doesn't care what breed.
hmm
And there's a mother, a dog that had puppies,
hmm
and some cows took his fence down. He's out there fixing that fence to keep the dogs safe.
Yeah, he's a pretty amazing person.
Yeah, and that's a pretty big undertaking too. And I've got a
Yes.
link down in up in the description that you can click that link, and there's some ways to help out.
hmm
All right, so we give Paul a shout out. Thank you, Paul, for
Thanks, Paul.
being such a cool guy, and we're gonna have to get you on the show
Yes.
about that. All right, so wow, we have us a youngun here again today, don't we?
We do.
Yes. Um, but first of all, it's getting time for hoodies and hats, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We are putting together our hoodies and hats. It's that time of the year. So we will be launching that fundraiser in the next day or two. You can have a baseball cap or a hoodie or both.
I want a hat.
Yes, I want a hat.
I want a hat.
Me too.
Okay. So, okay, so there you have it. Keep your eyes open because
hmm
Great Pyrenees Rescue in Missouri. It's all about the dogs. It'll be posted there amongst other places.
100% of the proceeds go to the rescue, the dogs in rescue.
That's right. So, yeah. All right. Well, here we go. We have a youngin up here that had a little bit of a rough start,
Mm.
but not as bad as some, but still a rough start for a young dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
He lost his first home at 10 weeks old.
Yes, he had a inexperienced Pyrenees owner in the beginning who surrendered him to rescue. And then he was adopted and then returned by the second owner for killing chickens,
Yes.
playing with the chickens.
Playing with the chickens.
Yeah, he was
So,
he was playing with them.
most of you probably saw our little video that we made of him. We're going to go ahead and play that, and then we'll see if we can bring him up. All right. So here we go. And by the way, we cover the chickens in the video. So how about I play his?
I thought
Um,
that said Klaus.
oh, it is Klaus. All right. Sorry.
Mm.
And there's hi Reed. Hi Klaus.
Hey, Reed.
Wow, he looks
Hey, handsome
bigger.
boy.
He looks bigger than he does in the video.
He's a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So didn't he just turn 5?
Months.
5 months.
5 months.
Yes.
And how does he get along with your 2 Anatolian shepherds there?
He does really well. It took about a week, and now he and Ripple are good friends, and they play a lot. Everybody gets along. He does well with my cats too.
No.
Okay.
But you don't have any chickens, right, Reed?
What?
You don't have any chickens, right?
I don't have any chickens.
No chickens. But he does get along with the cats, although she said they're all wet, but he gets along with them. So,
Yep,
you know,
he puts them in his mouth.
puts them in his mouth, just probably like he did with the chickens to play with them.
Probably, yeah. But my cats can handle it, and they play back and forth, and they chase each other, and they all get along pretty well.
Well, that's a good looking boy you got there.
Yes.
How much do you think he weighs right about now?
We're thinking around 70 pounds.
Okay. Now, as young as he is, but how does he do meeting strangers like, well, children?
He does pretty well. He's actually, when we've been on walks, I've let kids pet him and stuff, and he's a pretty just happy boy, and I can get him to sit for them, and he just likes getting pet by anybody.
Okay. Now, because of his size, it's probably not a good idea to have young children, huh?
Right. He's a little bit clumsy, and he's just a big puppy, so he doesn't quite know how big he is. But he's very sweet. I don't see any issues with him meeting new people.
Good, because you're keeping him socialized.
Yes.
Yes, that is amazing. So, what state is he in? Is he in Missouri?
Yes, he's in Kansas City, Missouri.
All right, Kansas City. So, GPRescue.com, that's where you go to apply for Klaus. And I just want to take a second here and say hi to everybody that's commented. Nancy and Laura and Julie. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. So now back to the star of the show, like as if we had a choice. All right. That's why he's the star. So GPRescue.com, fill out the application. And speaking of that application, we're going to go over that a little bit tonight. So look at that. So well, never mind. I'll just ask the chickens. Is he pretty active and play rough?
Yep. He likes to play. Luckily, my girls like to play back. They chase each other, and he likes to nibble. He does that to my cats. Okay. He'll just come up and he just likes to nibble and chew on him a little bit.
All right.
Now, how does he do with toys and food, Reed? Do you see any resource guarding issues with him at all?
I don't see any at all. I know where he came from. They told me with food that he probably did. I still feed him separately from my girls. But with toys and bones and stuff, I don't see any reason to worry about that. I feed him separately, and he stays in his own in my mud room when I leave him. And he does really good with potty training and stuff. He doesn't go in there. He didn't like going in a crate, so I didn't want to do that to him. So he stays in his little room, and he does good. We don't have any issues in there. And whenever I'm home or just watching TV or anything, he's out with my girls, and we haven't had any accidents since the first week.
That's great.
Laura has a question. She wants to know how he is on a leash.
He does really well. He gets a little bit distracted, but he seems to be totally fine. He likes to try and keep up with my girls, and he gets tired pretty easily. By the end of the walk, he's usually all pooped out.
Yeah. Didn't you say you think he weighs right around 75 or so?
Yeah, around
70
70. Yeah.
About 70 pounds.
Yeah. I think my smallest girl is around 75, 80, and he's a little bit smaller than her, but getting pretty close.
Yeah. So, and that's absolutely right. And yeah, Laura, we were able to help him because we got a foster home. Without a foster home, we don't know what would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And Nancy's been following his story ever since he came into rescue. So maybe.
No, I think she's actually talking about Paul Wells, Steve.
Oh, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, you need to follow.
But Klaus is an
story,
amazing
too.
guy too, so it could go for him too.
Paul is a good guy. So
Yeah, he is.
so anyway, do you have anything you'd like to add before we take you down?
I just think he's a really happy boy now, and I think he would do good.
Good.
You know, with dogs and cats, and in a family too. I think he's ready to be loved.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. You got a pair of Anatolian shepherds there that are getting along with him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He definitely. It took a little bit of a second. They put him in his place. He knows that they're the boss, but now they play all the time together.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Reed, for coming on when bringing Klaus, and he's available now, right? They can go out to the website and they can adopt it or fill out the application to adopt it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Okay,
Reed.
Guys.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much. GPRescue.com. And boy, I hate taking down with that shot right there. That's a good looking boy. All righty. Bye, Klaus. Bye, Reed.
Bye, guys.
All right. So, GPRescue.com is where you go to, adopt any of them. It makes it easy. Okay. Now, speaking of which, I'm going to bring Roman up because he wanted to sit in on the application one too. So, if anybody read the description that we wrote for the show, it talked about the application process from a rescue, not just our rescue, it's other rescues sometimes too. Now, you get to filling that thing out, you get your personal information in. As a matter of fact, I happen to have one right here, an application. And Linda's going to go over that with you because, why do they want all this information? What's next? Your firstborn? Okay. Well, no, she doesn't want your firstborn because some people are too willing. Okay. But we're going to go right into it here, and we're going to actually make us small so I can make the application big. Okay. So at least I'm going to give it my best shot here as soon as I figure out how to do it. Yay, I did it. Okay, so here's what we have here. Basically, page 1, you go out to GPRescue.com and you find the dog you like and you click on him, and there's going to be a button there that says adopt this dog. All right. I clicked on Mocha because I don't know why Mocha's still there. That's why I picked on Mocha.
Yeah.
All right. So, and that brings us up to this page right here. And basically this first page here, all it is I'm going to go over this with you guys. This is just your personal information in the beginning. Your email's already in there because in order to get the application, you have to put your contact email in there. So first page, pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. They don't even want your financial statement on this page, right? Okay. So page 2. I'm reading this for the first time, and this monitor is smaller than this one, and it's coming out a little light, so that's okay. Guess what? It didn't go to page 2. I didn't fill it out. So I have plan B right here. I just can't share the screen because it's got somebody's name on it. But I can read the app. All right.
Yes, just not the information.
Right. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. So let me move this over here. All right. So what what we have on the app here is your first page, name, address, phone number. Okay, and naturally what animal you're interested in, just to verify it. Okay, now, um, then we thank you for your interest in in applying. Okay, so now it goes over to ground rules, and here's the first line. Before we begin, do you agree? Do you agree that you meet the following requirements? Keep in mind, I'm reading this. Don't kill the messenger. All right. 1, a secure, visible fence. Okay. That means above ground, just so you know. Number 2, current animals up to date on vaccinations. Number 3, children in the home are 12 years or older. 12 years old. Okay. Number 4, you are at least 21 years old. And number 5, you've got some basic knowledge on the breed, because you're on a Great Pyrenees rescue site. You should be able to read some of that. All right. Now, 12 years old, I understand we get some complaints about that.
Yeah, we do. We've actually haven't changed it yet on the website or on the application, but we changed it to 8 years old and older.
Okay.
We stayed with 12 for a long time, but I think 8 years old. I think they're old enough to, to learn how to respect the dog's space and have a good relationship with the dog at that age. I mean, I've been around a lot of 8-year-olds, and they're at that age, they can comprehend.
Yes.
Where a 3 or 4-year-old cannot comprehend that, and they're usually the ones that wind up getting hurt in some way.
I don't know many rescues that will send a dog out to a home that young, so that just kind of falls in line with what's going on. So, all right, so that covers the 12-year-old.
But I will say though, Steve, I have adopted out some of our dogs to homes that have small children, but these dogs came from homes that have very small children in them, and they have done wonderful. So it's always a case by case with me.
So what you're reading there isn't set in stone then?
No.
Okay, because you have the ability to do a waiver, huh?
Yes,
Okay.
and I have. But for a majority, that is the case.
Now, what's up with this? What's up with this visible fencing stuff?
Yes, you must have secure, visible fencing to have a Pyrenees. I mean, I don't need to tell anyone that. That's why they are in shelters and rescues, because they're wandering the highways and the roads because someone thought that they could contain them without a fence. So they need fencing to keep them safe.
Yep. In rescue, there's a saying, what do you call a peer off leash? Well, I just say gone, but technically it's disappear.
Disappear, yes.
Right. And it doesn't necessarily mean they're trying to get away from you. It necessarily means they're wandering away, or something moved and they had to go check it out. So, yes, fencing, and then the height of your fence is going to depend on the dog. Okay.
Yes. And I know that it says 6 foot. I don't always do that. Like I said, it's always a case by case with me. I mean, I have dogs that don't challenge fencing. Yeah. I have dogs of my own right here. 2 different homes that didn't have a 6-foot fencing, and I didn't have any issues. So
now, what happens if you have a dog that is an escape artist and that a 6-foot fence is just nothing to them? Then what? Then
they're adopted out as a leash walk only dog,
and they don't need a fence.
Because a fence is not going to hold them. So I mean,
it's not set in stone yet. Again,
it is not.
Case by case.
Case by case.
Okay. The 21-year-old, you have to be 21 years or older, because that's the legal age, or?
That is because I feel that and that is set in stone. You must be 21 or older.
Okay.
You have to have some responsibility behind you, some financial backing, a good 2-year vet history. And typically when you're 17, 18 years old, you don't have that. Your parents might, but
Your
you don't.
parents do, yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. And then, and why are you so adamant that they have to read anything about a dog?
A dog, we're talking about Great Pyrenees here. So the more that you know about the breed that you're bringing into your home, the better off you're going to be. Um, I always say this too. I started off with a Pyrenees and I had no knowledge of a Pyrenees. I knew they were beautiful and adorable puppies and I wanted one. So I got my very first Pyrenees. So I did start somewhere, so
And
again,
you do have to start somewhere, but with
you
this day
do.
and age, if
Hmm.
you go into a Great Pyrenees breed specific rescue knowing nothing about the dog with all the information that's out
Hmm.
there,
Hmm.
you may get denied.
Yes, and most of the time you will.
Now,
Um,
with this breed, and reason why Linda wants you to read about them, because this is a guardian breed
hmm.
and they don't take their job lightly at all.
Hmm.
Oh, some
Hmm.
of them do, but as a rule, they don't take the job lightly. And
Hmm.
so you have a responsibility to educate your visitors that come to your home.
Hmm.
So that's knowing the breed. Okay? And wow, we have a big long comment down there, but let me get to the next line. And then the next one, after the breed basic, it goes into how did you hear about the rescue, which is, we're actually curious. The rescue's young. All right.
It is.
The rescue's very young.
Hmm.
And
But well known. Sometimes I'm very surprised about where people hear from us, from vets' offices,
mhm.
um, pet stores, like PetSmart and Petco, and
Yeah,
from all over the place.
it's
So that's
amazing.
that's fantastic.
When
Yes.
when you save dogs, word gets around,
Yes, it does. Hmm.
especially with some of these stories, these backstories that are,
Hmm.
or the condition they're in. All right.
Yes.
Now, um, then, wow, they want to know what kind of house you have. All right. And they also want to know if you rent it. What's up with that? Why can't I rent?
I don't turn people down for being renters, Steve.
Oh,
But I do. The reason I am cautious with renting is because if your lease is up and you have to leave that home,
mhm.
and you go into the next home, I personally know how hard it is to find a rental with big dogs.
Yep.
And I'm in a temporary rental, and I could tell you I looked for almost a year. So it's not easy. So that is the reason why when I see someone rents, I typically will pass on that application.
Yep. And then now this kind of falls under the breed basics too. Wow, man, if I was reading that application, why do you care if I live in an HOA, homeowners association, or not? You know what the big deal there?
Yeah, the big deal is that your dog is going to bark because it's Pyrenees, and then you're going to get in all kinds of trouble, and then the dog is going to be surrendered to a shelter back to the rescue. That's the problem with HOAs.
And there's a
Homeowners associations, they
yeah,
are a nightmare sometimes for people.
and we're starting to hear that some of them don't even allow fences.
Hmm. Yeah, they don't allow certain kind of fencing or
No.
fencing at all. So people will try to use, the electric fencing and the underground fencing for the Pyrenees, which is not going to work. So
Well,
unfortunately for them, it's a pass up for us.
okay. So now that we've come to this point of the application and our stress level is a little bit, now these next couple of questions will actually calm us down. Okay. So because naturally we want to know what kind of commotion that goes on in your house. All right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because dogs, if the commotion is too much, you might want to consider a stuffed animal. All right.
Yes.
Because you're going to stress your dog out. All right. And you don't want to sit there watching your dog pacing and drooling and everything because, contrary to popular belief, a Great Pyrenees doesn't just stand there and drool for no reason. Okay. Um, but anyway, it's one of their communication signs, warning signs, if you may. All right.
Hmm.
So Now, wow, now you're getting personal. And here comes the firstborn now. Does anyone in the household take medication for anxiety? Um,
Can I just touch base on that?
absolutely. That's why I shut up.
The reason I asked that question is because I've seen dogs become reactive when someone's in the home that has an anxiety disorder and is on medication. We've seen it personally.
Yep.
So that's why I asked that question, and I can tell you that Cody was one of them.
Yes.
So we wanted to cover our bases on that, and I actually learned that from Roman, because I would have never have thought that until I had my discussion with Roman.
Well, and it kind of, I don't know if it has the same effect on humans, but with dogs on anti-anxieties, their personality is now chemically induced.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So anyway, so now we got past that one,
Mhm.
Dr. Linda. Um, now, and that is very, very important too, by the way. Okay.
I think so. I
It
know
is.
it's a very personal question. I've never had anybody, have a problem answering it, and you know, I I see the contract's there for a reason, but like I said, and I've said it a million times, I always will adjust that or waiver some things,
Yeah.
but usually that one, I'm pretty much a stickler on that one.
Yeah, you actually summed it up pretty good in the parentheses that the breed is highly sensitive,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
so sometimes they're actually fragile.
Hmm.
And what I mean by that,
Sometimes,
go ahead,
sometimes
Ron.
they can be very helpful.
Hmm.
Yep. So now the next question is probably a common one, wanting to know if you guys are beating yourself up or not. Domestic violence.
Hmm.
And we and just make no mistake, we're not going to send a dog to you if you guys are fighting each other. All right,
Yeah.
because the dog's going to pick sides eventually, or he's just going to leave.
Hmm.
Let me mute myself, and I'll be right back.
Good. Let me talk then. So I remember a case that I had that adopted out a dog, and everything was fine. The dog was pretty good, but I didn't have that question on the questionnaire about, are you taking any medication? And I always excuse the question, some dogs are sensitive. Some medications are dangerous to dogs, and you have to take a lot of medication. People would do, they put the medication on top of the counter. And the best thing is going to happen is the dog jumps on the counter, chews on them, and then he's going to die.
Hmm.
However, my Trojan horse here is understanding if anybody has certain medication that are dangerous to dogs, but the main cause is to see if anybody has emotional management issues. And especially because I usually work with guardian breeds and mastiff breeds, and they're really picking up on stuff. And I adopted out a dog, and everything went fine. And 2 months later, I got a phone call. My dog bit me out of nowhere. And I was like, it's impossible. Not that dog. And so what I learned, I went there by car. I jumped in the car and drove all the way from Texas to New Jersey the same day. Okay. So I went there, and as come in the house, the dog was calm, being in the crate. And as I walk in, I see on the desk, on the table, on the kitchen table, on the living room table, pills. The person was downstairs. So I didn't have time to see what the pills it was. I took a picture. And then she started telling me the story, what happened. She was just sitting in the living room, and all of a sudden the dog attacked her. And it did not assemble the dog's character. So I said, let me go in the car, let me grab some treats. So I went in the car and started Googling the medication that she has, which was for bipolar. And everything fell in place. So let's start asking questions. What did you do? What happened? More details. When did it happen? How often does it happen? And so when I came up with a plan and then finally asked the question, I said, are you sometimes getting nervous about the dog's behavior? Can you explain to me when it happens? Yeah, when I put him in a crate. Okay. And when is it usually, if that happens? Yeah, if I'm stressed. Okay. So what happened, the story was that she actually got so stressed about her nervousness. The dog starts being weird about it, started being, tried to control her and manage her. And what she did is she forced the dog into the crate. And because the dog starts barking about it, she kicked the crate. And the dog starts barking back. And then what she did, she started having a water bottle, smashing the water bottle on the crate because she got in a basically emotional attack, right? And then she has the smart idea, because she didn't want to handle the dog in the house. She opened the gate of the crate and still had the bottle in her hand. And so the dog attacked her. Actually, the bottle, not her. And that was the story. And then I says, okay, from now on, ask the question. And another question was, somebody gave me an address and I was smart enough to Google it. And guess what I found? It was a car junkyard. And so I called animal control and checked out that yard, and they told me they had several cases of dogs attacking, and they had to put 3 dogs down. Well, they didn't get the dog.
All right, I'm back now, so we're going to move forward. All right. So, but yeah, the anti-anxiety, that's something here. All right. Now, then we want to know about your pets. Okay, dogs, cats, chickens. Don't put puppies with chickens, okay? And we want to know who's in your household. Obviously, I mean, this stuff here gets it's pretty standard there. And also, we want to know if anybody has allergies to animals, because these dogs and cats and everything, they can have allergens. So.
Can I add something quickly here? Because I don't want people to suffering having allergies and not having a dog they love. Many times people who are allergic to dogs, it is dog food related.
And it
it's
makes
not
it
really the dog.
And that makes it the dander, not the dog.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. All right. And he's right about that. And if you are allergic to a dog, believe it or not, I have dog allergies. Okay, but it ain't because of what I'm feeding the dogs, but it's because of what I eat. But anyway, I take a Benadryl. What can I say? So, and then does anybody in the household take? Oh, I already went there. So now we're covering basic household and stuff, which is pretty standard. And this is the first time I've seen this app, obviously. Oh no, I haven't applied for a dog yet. So. Now, she wants to know what your current occupation is. All right, is someone home during the day, and that's what that's about. How much time alone is the dog going to spend in the daytime? All right, normal work day, you guys got to work. But
Let me ask you a question. So let's say, for example, I'm an adopter and I work as a nurse. Okay, so I have my 12-hour shifts, and I live somewhere in nowhere. Would I get the dog? You don't know my name. You just know what I'm doing.
Probably not. Yeah. I have turned down, I got an email one time from a nurse that felt that some rescues were very prejudiced against nurses and the hours that they work. Look, I think nurses are heroes. I love them. I mean, I have many adopters that are nurses. But when you're working 12-hour shifts, where's the time for the dog?
Where's the dog doing?
Where's the dog?
What is the dog doing for 12 hours? And then, when you're home, I mean, 12 hours is a long time to be working.
You have to go to bed.
You have to go to bed and sleep. So, yeah. So 95 plus % of the time, this dog is trying to figure things out on their own. So we would not.
Not having a fence.
Yeah.
How
many hours a day you work is a big one for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you work 8+ hours, I wouldn't adopt to you. No, I'm sorry.
You mean the 12 hours? What about 8 hours?
No.
Okay, so that's because that's a normal work day.
I understand.
Okay. All right. There you have it. Now, so why is that?
because I just feel it's too much. I think it's just too long. I think it's too long of a day. I mean, so especially for now, if there's another dog in the home and there's someone else in the home too, and they work separate shifts or opposite shifts, and there's somebody else there to interact with the dogs and let them out. Look, my dog's not going to spend 8 hours a day in a crate. Um,
Well,
you know,
no, that's too long in a crate.
yeah, and 8
What
hours a
happens
day.
if they come home at lunchtime and get him out?
We've had those. I mean, we've
Okay.
had people that come home a couple times during the day. We take those into consideration, but 8 hours, think about that. That is a long time for a dog to be left home
From a
alone.
dog's physical part, the dog needs to move every 4 hours.
That's
Mhm.
correct.
At least move, walk.
He's going to start
run.
losing muscle mass.
That's why in Europe, actually crates are not allowed. The size of a crate for a regular dog is that size of a kennel you see in the back,
Mhm.
which in that case, it's 10 by 4. That's a normal size. A dog can go there. He actually can fetch things in there. But that's the minimum size. So
Right.
crates are not allowed. Kennels are allowed, but they have to have specific sizes. So
Yeah.
3 by 3 meters, which is more than 6 feet, is the minimum size of a kennel of a dog.
I'm not big on crating. I don't have
Neither.
anything. I don't have anything against it. Other people do it. I didn't do it with my own. I just feel that Pyrenees, especially, they just don't like to feel that confinement. That isolation in a crate. I understand it's used when they're puppies to keep them safe. I get that. I understand that.
That's an
And I
American thing.
respect
It's
that.
not in the rest of the world, though.
Yeah,
My dogs go in
I'm
and
just
out
not.
all day long.
Yeah, it's a safe place for some of them. They feel
Absolutely.
comfortable in there. Like I
Absolutely.
said, I don't have anything against them, but I personally do not use them.
And that's
Never have.
personal preference.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Now, let's moving on. Now, where will your dog stay when you're not at home?
Mhm.
That's
It's very important to me.
That's an interesting question.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
I
then
have a
where
big
is he going to
bathroom.
sleep at night?
I have a big
Yeah.
bathroom, and it has also a drain. And I have that dog. He stays usually in the bathroom.
hmm
And I have a baby gate in the bathroom.
How long's the dog in there, Roman?
Well, when I come at home, like 9 to 5.
Yeah, no.
Well, it's covered because he can pee in the bathroom. Actually, I can wash it off. So he can poop and pee in the bathroom. It's totally okay for me. No carpet.
Yeah.
Oh, wait
That-
a minute. You're encouraging your dog to poop and pee in the house?
Oops.
Somebody
just
had
saying.
to-
Yeah,
I would be
it's a
that
no,
excited.
Roman. Sorry.
You
I don't
just
get
got
the dog.
denied again, Roman.
Tonight.
You're never
Denied
gonna
again.
get a dog. All right.
Nice try,
so
though.
moving on. Now we want to know standard stuff. Have you ever had any experience with giant breeds,
Yes.
or even large breeds?
Yes.
And now here's the good one. Have you ever owned a Great Pyrenees before?
hmm
And it's not a requirement, right? You're wanting to know the experience level. Is that right?
Yes. hmm
Okay. And if they've never owned a Pyr, that's not a denial, right?
It's not a denial. My first question to my adopters is because I do my own interviews. I don't pass that along. Every single one of my adopters I've spoken to personally, and my first question to them is tell me about a Great Pyrenees. Tell me all that you know.
Yep. And that'll let you know if they've done a little bit of research
Oh yeah.
or a
I
lot
think
of
if somebody
research and
doesn't
where
have
they researched.
I think if somebody doesn't have a Pyrenees but had Guardian breeds,
Yes.
it's kind of like comes in the same concept.
Yeah. But a
Mhm.
corgi is a guardian breed too.
Yeah. Yes. That's true.
Yeah. Sorry, Sherry. I think you're out there. She has a corgi.
Mhm.
He's a strong guardian too. Now here's one I'm not. How many dogs have you had in the past 5 years? Well, my dogs live to be 10 or 12.
Mhm. We just that question's in there. We just want to know how many dogs you've had, how much experience you've had.
And has there been anything you had to diffuse and stuff like that?
Well,
Both
when we
those
do
questions are in there.
when we do our vet checks, we always tell them that there's 4 dogs listed on the application. Tell us about the 4 dogs. And a lot of times we'll find that maybe 2 of them are listed at the vet's office, but the other 2 were from 20 years ago.
Right.
So
Right.
it's just there. It's just a little bit of information that we know how much experience you've had
Yeah.
with dogs in general.
Now you're really invading my privacy. You want to know who and how often somebody's going to walk the dog, even.
Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
Firstborn's got to be coming up, everybody. So, because they need exercise.
Hmm.
But I have a big fenced in backyard. What do you say to that?
They still need to be walked.
Mine go out and lay down.
But sorry, sorry. I don't have time for walking. I have a 25 acres of property. I just open the door. You know what? They have so long to walk. They don't really need me.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Unfortunately for us, that's not going to work. So
Unfortunately, you just got denied again.
Oh man,
Yeah.
again.
Mhm, mhm,
Red
Exercise.
card.
The structured walks
mhm.
Are the-
Structured walks.
are the
Yes.
exercise.
Hmm.
Because a great Pyrenees is going to go out in the backyard. He's going to bark for a little while. And
Yep.
then he's going to sniff around for a little while. He'll use the bathroom. And then he's going to dig a hole and lay in it the rest of the day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's not
Mhm.
exercise.
No, it's
That's
not.
Structured walks. Anytime you have a TPLO surgery or hip replacement on a dog, in pretty quick time, they've got you doing structured walks.
Hmm.
So anyway, now you want to know how I feed the dogs. Sheesh. You want to know if I free feed them or have scheduled meal times for your pets.
Hmm.
Why you want to know that? That's none of your business, right, Roman?
Am I stupid to answer the question?
Oh,
and
you've
not
already
getting
been
the dog?
denied too many times. It's my turn to get denied.
If you're adopting one of my dogs, everything's my business.
I like
Um,
that answer.
Yeah, I mean, I free feed. I have 5 dogs, 4 being Pyrenees, and that's the way it's always been done in my home. I don't have any issues with it. But I like to know, I mean, if they have a dog in the home, because we know that Pyrenees sometimes will have resource guarding issues with their food. So I need to know how their dog is being fed in their home versus how my dog's being fed in the foster home.
And it's not unusual for a guardian to guard their food.
Let me add
Against
to
other
something
animals.
because it's important. Even if you have a dog and you free feed, it's totally fine. From my behavior perspective, okay, your dog, how many times have your dog had visitors in your house?
Hmm.
Dog visitors.
Hmm.
So the dog who is fine feeding free and suddenly has a second dog coming into the house who is needy, who is stressed and anxious,
Hmm.
it will become a food issue.
Hmm.
So if a dog has not learned to feed in a schedule and can only be free fed, it will be an issue with a dog who comes in stressed from a shelter who never had free feed, and all of a sudden the food becomes an issue because the dog is stressed.
Yeah,
So at
absolutely
least
correct.
if that's the case, it's important to post it there so people understand who will bring you the dog to add additional information in order to handle that first month or 2 on that integration process when the dog who is stressed, who never free fed, or eventually had trauma around food from other dogs. That's why he was eventually surrendered,
Sure.
not getting the cover with the existing dog.
Now you go on. Now you're really getting personal here. What kind of collar does my dog use? The next question is: have you used or currently using any of the following training tools? Martingale collar, prong collar, slip lead, harness, or gentle leader.
Hmm.
Why is that your business?
Because I want to I'm not a real big fan of prong collars, and that's just me. I know it can be used as a good training tool if used properly. I'm not a fan of those.
Whoa! I can't believe you just said that. But go on.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. But I want to make sure that the collar that you're putting on our dog is gonna keep him safe. Like we
Mhm.
use martingale collars. So when people say that they use martingales, so regular collars around their neck bother me a little bit. It's not a it's not a, we're not going to give you a dog for it, but regular collars around the necks bother me because I see dogs that pull and they're choking and they're,
For the pier owners out there, if you've ever had a Pyrenees stop and then put it in reverse, that's when you'll appreciate the martingale collar.
yes.
Because
Mhm.
you're going to go in panic mode because he's backing into the road now and you don't know what to do. And now you're pulling on the leash, and that means you're fueling it now.
Mhm.
And, but
I mean, we get people that have regular collars on their dogs' necks and they don't have
it's
any
hard to
issues in their
back out of
dogs.
it's hard
But
to back out of a martingale.
Yeah, it is, but I tell them too, that's your dog and your dog might be okay on those, but ours might not be. So, and instead of risking trauma to the dog's neck, that's why I want to know what kind of collar you use on the dog.
We should talk about that in a more extended way about the collar. It's important at some point. Just
Yes.
a side note.
Yeah, and now this is not too invasive. About you want to know what the grooming routine is going to be. Okay, and I think that's a very fair question. The brushing, nail trimming, especially. Don't forget those double do's. All right, because they're there and they're real, and they can grow around
And they're
right
growing.
into the pad. Yep, and if they go in the pad, now your dog's on antibiotics. So. So
these questions, Steve, that you're asking,
Yeah.
this is just us getting to know you as a person.
That's right,
And
that's
how
what
you
this
are
is.
with your dogs and
Right.
so
I'm going to skip a little bit of this here because I don't know how much longer. Oh, we're almost to the end, aren't we? Now, we're going to go to the place about please describe your philosophy of training and how you plan to train your new dog.
And that one is one that I'm a real stickler on too.
That one she won't give in on.
I won't, if someone says to me, well, I plan on taking them to, a trainer to be trained. I'm like, first I want to know is what kind of training, have you ever used this trainer before? This is a very specific breed, and how many Great Pyrenees or large breed dogs have they trained in the past? PetSmart, nothing against PetSmart, but trainers that have never seen a Great Pyrenees in their life and they think they're going to bring our dogs in and train them, they're going to cause some harm here.
Yes, they are, and
so that's one I'm really a stickler on, and you got to be real careful with that one.
See, this breed isn't for everybody, and everybody knows this. And that also means not everybody can handle them as a trainer. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they haven't.
Because we've seen trainers do some harm to our breed, so we're really cautious when it comes to that question.
Yep. So I really do like that question, and then I think this could be a loaded question here. Are you willing to allow your dog to decompress and learn a new routine in your home? Which is that's a standard question.
It's very standard.
Except decompress. I thought just deep sea divers had to decompress.
Oh, I know everything about the compression. 333.
333. I'm working with a dog right now that followed 333 right to the T. Man, just scroll right past that if you see that, please. All right.
I think it helps.
You don't want a peer to decompress for 3 days because he's going to figure things out for himself, and you've lost control right there before you ever even got to know him. So
we should talk about that 333 thing.
Yeah, let's scroll past that. So anyway, now are you willing to hire a behaviorist if needed? If there's some behaviors that you don't know what to do with.
What's wrong with the dog? Why do I need a behaviorist?
Yeah, why? Well, you sending me a bad dog?
No. If you're having some kind of issues with your dog that's not a training issue, and it's a behavioral issue, we have a really good behaviorist that we know and that we recommend, and we can send you over to him.
Yes.
His name's Roman.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he was going to say me. Oh, well, anyway. Now, that's very important, too, because, no, we're not sending you a bad dog.
No.
We're sending you a dog that's not for everybody. And you're finding out why. Okay.
Well, let's just remember too, these dogs are coming from all different kinds of situations, and different backgrounds. So we don't know what kind of traumas they've experienced and what's happened to them in their life So if something does occur, we want to be able to send them over to someone that can help them.
Yeah.
Here's
So
what. Sorry, I know
don't put a time limit on it either. On
it's important to understand the difference between a trainer and a behaviorist.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, for example, your child needs to do some gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you would theoretically hire a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your child has behavior issues in school. She's getting in trouble, getting late, starts lying. Okay, there's what you need a behaviorist.
Yes.
Now, does the behaviorist do what the trainer does? No. Does the trainer do what the behavior does? No. Are these two people completely different? No. But there is an overlapping area where we use as a behaviorist, we use a treatment plan that includes also training.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I would definitely refer somebody to a trainer that has positive reinforcement, but I would not recommend to have a behavior issues and going to a trainer, because to solve that behavior issues, you need to understand dynamics and behaviors of dogs, which is a study process. It's not something you can be just gifted. Make sense?
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
we do two different things. Okay.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
now we don't want to run out of time before we run out of application here. So here we go. Let's see now. And then obviously working through the hardships as to behaviors. Now we go back on the fence again. Do you have a fenced in yard? You just said we had to, so if we're this far down, we probably do. Oh, how tall is it? Oh, I get it. All right. So and that's very
Hey, Steve, if
important.
we could just address some of these questions that people have. Nancy asked if they
Sure.
don't know the correct answer regarding training, etc. Do you educate? I love to educate.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm all into that. It is definitely not a deal breaker.
Nancy asked that question too.
Nancy asked that question, and I will give you everything that I have to educate you. And and most people are so appreciative of that. They learn so much from just talking with us. I will say this, Steve. I know it's not on my application yet, but I do background checks, and I've seen from other rescues shelters where dogs have gone into homes and they've been so severely abused, even killed. And sometimes with a simple background check for, somebody that has, look, I'm not gonna deny it because you have a speeding ticket. Okay, I got those my
Thank
own.
God.
But I will deny someone that has a domestic violence charge, a felony charge. You have to understand, and I tell everybody this, and I really really hope that people can understand that these dogs already had a bad beginning. And when they come to us, that ends with us. So I know sometimes my questions are invasive. I know sometimes people get angry with us, but I just hear this. I will make no exceptions, make no mistake that dog's safety is always going to be first with me. Always. And sometimes people will email me back and say horrible, horrible things, but I'm sorry. I have to think of the dog first. You were muted, Roman.
I say just because they were mean to you and violent in words just confirms your right choice.
Absolutely. Yes.
Because that will they will be responding to the dog making a mistake.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Yes.
And wow, this has been pretty cool. See, the application is not that bad.
Mm-mm.
There's really nothing to get upset about, really.
No,
I think
there's really not.
Your questionnaire should cover your own child going to this person for a month.
Thank you. I say it all the time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All the
So-
time.
I need to know
These are my
anything.
children. These are my children that I'm sending to you to love. I'm entrusting my child with you. So I need to know every single thing I can know about you. So I can say this. My adopters are the most wonderful people in this. I mean, I can't even say enough about them. These people are my family. My adopters are my family. And I have a question in there. Are you willing to share your dog with us throughout their life? And they I mean, absolutely, they love that. So every couple months, every 6 months, you'll get a text message from me. My adopters can type that. They'll tell you that. I'll say, how's our baby? How are they doing? We'll never forget them. They're all
You do
important
have
to
a
us.
very good relationship with your adopters.
I love my adopters.
When we did
Yes.
the adoption show, you had those two mastiffs on, Riggs and Bandit, and those folks, you could just tell, just talking about you, that they really, you guys have got along great. So
Yes, it's
and
so
then
first when
Hank,
you go to the application, first thing is it really helps is if you read the requirements. If you can't pass the requirements, then don't waste the time filling out the application to be denied and then upset.
Yep. So look at what I wrote down there. We got a giveaway again. Hashtag GPRN. Speaking of martingale collars, okay, we're gonna give away a martingale collar. So if you type into the comments hashtag GPRM, you get entered into the drawing, and I actually have it ready this time. All right. So anyway, we can move on now. So yeah, this application is not that bad at all.
No,
you
no,
know,
the application's easy. It's my interview. It's the hard one.
it's the phone interview that'll get you.
Yeah.
And sometimes she can read right through you. If you seem to be on your best behavior just for that phone call, you ain't getting nothing past her. Trust me. I know this.
I just want to add one thing. I had an adopter I talked to the other day, and she was very quiet, and she didn't ask me a lot of questions. And I thought to myself, wow, I wonder if that's me, because just so you know, people, I come from New Jersey. I don't pull any punches. I'm very vocal, but I'm very honest. So sometimes I think people on, in the Midwest may take that as a little as aggressive, maybe. But I'm just assertive. I'm not aggressive. So when you're talking to me, it's good. It's good.
It is good. Yeah. So, and here we are, and you're talking to her, and
Yes.
she's not afraid to come up, and a lot of people give her a very hard time on these applications, and those are usually the ones that's been denied. But I'm sure some of them actually gotten approved in the end, but that can give you a hard time.
Yeah, someone had asked if people lie to us. I don't. Yes, yes, they do.
And how do you know?
Oh, because we do our thorough checks.
Okay,
That's why.
There you go.
We
I had
check all that.
somebody wanting to adopt a dog. It was for her mother.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through the pages on Facebook pages, and I saw she never had posted a dog, but her mother did.
Right.
And then the only thing that I was wondering, she had so many different posts of her dogs over the years. No dog was longer than a year on that post. So I was asking about that. And then I found out that her mother was in a do not adopt list.
So now Nancy says if you have, this is different Nancy this time. Hi Nancy 2-1, whatever you want to call yourself. If you have someone that disagrees with you, I will tell them about my firsthand experience, personal experience, and we've all got it, all right, and what they will go through, and just like we said, this breed's not for everybody. That's why this application's here. We're not the shelter, the person with the most money does not get the dog. Okay? That's not how that works. The shelter's bound to do that. They have to. They're contracted to the county.
Yes.
Some of them, not all of them. But
little different.
That is different, and
we'll hold on to our dogs forever until the right home
the
comes along.
contract is if there's a dog that's stray, they have to take it, and if there's no room, they have to figure it out. Okay? And you know what the answer is. So anyway, don't forget to put hashtag GPRM and GPRM in there. Great Pyrenees Rescue Missouri is what that stands for, just so you know.
Steve, you're going to put up your email for Sharon, because Sharon won last week, but she
and I never heard anything from Sharon on like collar size. How about shipping address? We need that stuff, Sharon. If you can send me an email with that information, just because the collars go in measurements. This particular one is a large 1 inch wide, and it covers neck size 13 inches to 20 inches. Okay, and that's a good size collar. So anyway, and if he hits the brakes and puts it in reverse, you got better chance of him staying in this collar if it's adjusted properly. And it has a stop. Okay, it has a stop on it. So and it's not a training collar. There's no collar that will train your dog for you. Okay, there's nothing that will train your dog for you. That's your job. This might make it a little easier on you. You don't have to run down the road chasing your dog. So anyway, hashtag GPRM. Let's get him in there. I don't have any insurance in here. That's all right. May not have to give it away.
Save it for next week.
Wow. No. Wow, Sharon. Okay. So who do you want to donate it to? I'm kidding. Okay. We will recycle it. Maybe that'll be up to Linda. How's that? Okay. So
short note.
Sure.
Last time we did a vote for for a training session and a collar. I never received any call or something. What happened to the winner?
What happened to what?
What happened with the winner of the last training session that we donated?
Oh, Melissa, she's donating it to somebody that needed it.
Where is that person?
Other than that, I don't know. I will call her. How about that?
Following up.
Yeah, thank you. And I will call her, and she may just donate it to the rescue and let Linda disperse it as she sees fit. Right? That would be a good thing.
Yeah.
Or she might donate it into Roman, and he can put it in his cash and help somebody that way.
Whatever Melissa wants to do.
Melissa, and I will ask her to send you an email or something, or a message or something, and let you know. How's that? And she might. I haven't seen her comment, so I don't think she's watching tonight. So anyway, and if you are Melissa, you just heard everything. She will watch the rerun, so she'll know. All right, everybody. No insurance. We don't have a giveaway.
Okay, save it for next time,
I gotta
Steve.
wear a stupid thing. It's pink. I don't want to wear it. All right, everybody. Next week, what are we going to do next week on timing?
I think we're going to stick with this for a little bit.
Okay, I like this time.
Yeah, and
relaxing.
What are we talking next time? Any subject that we need to touch up so I can be prepared?
Yes.
We'll let you know, Roman. We usually start talking about that right away. I would like to touch base on a lot of subjents.
Yeah, there's a subject that's pretty common in rescue that Judy had brought up to me, and and it's a valid one, but it's not hard to fix. I mean, it's not. Well, there's no fix. It's not hard to divert and do it, differently. So there's always another way. If what you're doing, what you're trying with your dog doesn't work, stop doing it. You need to go from a different way. Right? So,
yes, Jody, we do home checks. Absolutely every single time.
Yeah. And we don't supply the coffee. Well, sometimes I heard we did. So we want to look at your fence. We know what these dogs are capable of. Okay. And if you've got a spot in your fence that's got a gap between your bottom of your fence and your grass, that's an opportunity for that dog to dig under there and go down out of there because they're opportunists.
I will say this though, home checks usually are done virtual now. I do them myself, and people invite me into their homes. We usually do it StreamYard or FaceTime, and we do that because of COVID. Some of our adopters and some of our fosters aren't comfortable, being in close contacts or with other people. So we have to respect everyone and appreciate everyone and do what's safest for each person.
I declined one adoption for having 2 aggressive dogs next door.
Yeah, that would worry me.
Yeah, well, the circumstances were wrong. Then absolutely, I would not want to send my dog there. You always got to remember, will you send your personal dog there that you've had? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and let them watch him for a week. Okay, and boy, I tell you,
And we don't adopt two female Pyrenees into the same household. So that's another one that we don't ever waver on. Ever waver on.
there you go, and there you have it. And a lot of rescues are like that. They won't, but they'll put two males together. Why is that?
Yeah, I know. I think I
Never
talked to
mind. We're
Roman
not going
about
to
that
go in. We're
before.
on overtime. We won't.
Yeah, we are. We'll talk about that because I have problems with males, not females. So,
That's
uh,
right.
yeah, and I've
But you
talked.
know
We've
what?
we've talked
You
about
can
that.
have problems with males and females too, because
Yeah.
the sex doesn't have anything to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not fighting each other because, oh, you're another girl and you're prettier, I'm going to kill you. That's not what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
They're still triggers. But anyway, all right, everybody, we're gonna get on out of here.
All right.
We still got some of you hanging out, so we appreciate it. Share our show. Some other
Yes.
people might want to hear about.
No,
this
don't share
application.
it. Resource card that show. Don't share it with anyone. Nobody needs to know.
And maybe we can get Roman to get another session thrown into the giveaway. So share the show. There, I just said it. So
Yes.
they will know it.
Yes.
Because
Keep piling
we
it
need
up.
fosters. We need foster homes because there's a lot of dogs that we haven't been able to take.
We need foster homes,
And let me add to
donations.
something. Being a foster home, you're not on your own because you have technical and training support. I know fosters who are more and better educated than some trainers out there.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yep. We always let our fosters know you are not alone. We are here with you and that dog 100% of the time.
You're not in this by yourself at all.
Not at all.
And,
All right, guys.
And we usually have the capabilities, if need be, someone can make an appearance if you have to. So,
Yep.
all right,
Absolutely.
everybody, we're going to.
All right.
Wait a minute. Two more comments. Hang on. Why, thank you, Jody. We try to be.
Thank you, Jody.
I have two professionals on, and they cover me a lot here, so I appreciate it, guys. All right, everybody. Next week, 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and 6 o'clock Romans Time. All right.
Yes.
So we will see you next week, right here.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.